Hello and welcome to WTV. I am Martin Abazi.
And I'm Graham McDougall. This season of WTV is off and running, and it's been great connecting with you and telling your stories.
You can always get in contact with us during the show, tweet or Facebook us at WTV Media, or connect with us on our website.
That's right, Artan. We're going to hear some great stories today, including one that reunites a family with a piece of their history, just in time for Remembrance Day.
But first, let's check in with Katie Gordon, who has your news. Katie?
Thanks, Artan. A longtime Dartmouth business is closing its doors. For the past 87 years, Beasley's Bowling Lanes has been a part of the community in Dartmouth. Owners say because the rest of the building is being torn down, taxes and snow plowing fees will be going up more than they can afford. Derek Bourne, who lives in Dartmouth, says Beasley's will be missed.
It's a little bit sad. When we were kids, we used to come here bowl, and we lived nearby when we were younger, and we used to come here bowling sometimes. It's kind of sad to see a business like this going out.
Although bowling ended last Friday, Beasley's is open for another week to sell off assets. 9 women have now come forward with allegations of sexual assault by radio host Jian Ghomeshi. The CBC host was fired last week. Many people have questioned why his accusers didn't go to the police. Avalon Sexual Assault Center's Executive Director Jackie Stevens says speaking out isn't
If people
easy.
are assuming they're going to be judged, blamed, or not believed, that's certainly going to be a factor that causes them to hesitate in coming forward.
The hashtag Been Raped Never Reported and I Believe Women has sparked worldwide social media attention. Many people are using the hashtag as an open platform to share and support victims of sexual assault.
If we're not saying I believe you and it's not your fault, we're contributing to rape culture and we are causing further harm.
The Avalon Center is the only sexual assault center in HRM and provides support for victims. Movember has officially started and things are about to get a little hairy. And it's about more than just growing a mustache. The campaign was created to shed light on and raise funds for all men's health issues.
Sure that you get yourself checked every now and then, making sure that this taking care of ourselves and taking care of each other happens every day of the year, not just during Movember.
And you don't have to be growing facial hair to participate. You can sign up online as a Mobro or a Mo-Sista. Last year, Canada raised nearly $34 million and had 200,000 participants. Money raised goes to Prostate Cancer Canada and Movember Foundation programs. For many, lemonade is a summer staple, but a local business has made it their mission to make fresh lemonade available all year round. Jordan Shalou makes and sells lemonade and popsicles through his company Lemon Dogs. It all started because he felt Dartmouth was missing a good local source of lemonade.
We have blackberry and bergamot, we have a coffee and chocolate one, we have pear, and a classic lemonade always is sticking around.
You can buy their products at the market or you can sign up online for a subscription where every week you can get fresh lemonade delivered to your door. And that's your news. Back to you, Artan.
Thanks, Katie. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, the first Albanian language school opens in Halifax.
Welcome back. Energy company TransCanada is asking the federal government to approve a new oil pipeline. It would stretch from Alberta to New Brunswick, and opponents are worried about the environmental effects. Dave Irish tells us about one woman hitting the road to stop the pipeline.
For me personally, it brings up a number of emotions.
Angela Giles is taking this campaign on the road. Her fuel, a passionate stance against the Energy East pipeline.
Clearly, this pipeline is yet another fossil fuel dependent infrastructure that will be in place for 40-odd years at least.
Her goal, to inspire Atlantic Canadians by hosting grassroots level meetings.
What we're trying to do is to better understand what the impacts could be in those communities, so listening to and meeting with local groups and elected officials.
The pipeline project will pump over 1 million barrels of tar sands crude oil per day to the Maritimes for export. Now, even though the pipeline will stop in St. John, Giles says more oil means more risk for Nova Scotia, especially in the Bay of Fundy.
There are a lot of industries that are dependent on the bay, including fisheries and tourism.
WTV asked people on the street what their concerns were about the pipeline.
A lot of seafood comes from the Bay of Fundy, and I'm wondering if that's going to be a major effect on the seafood.
The emphasis should definitely be on the environment rather than job opportunities.
I think that people just kind of have tunnel vision. They look towards their own points and don't really look at the pros and cons of each situation.
WTV asked Energy Minister Andrew Younger and his department for a comment, but none was given. He last mentioned the pipeline in early 2014, saying any talk about increased tanker traffic was speculation. Giles says the challenges she faces are not new. But because many Maritimers have supported her in the past, Giles' determination never veers far from the road.
Everybody, myself included, very much so, wants to move beyond that, wants to move towards a more renewable and sustainable future for our children and for our grandchildren.
A future, she says, in which Canada's fight against climate change can itself be renewed. Dave Irish, WTV News, Halifax.
It's hard to believe, but it was 15 years ago that Nova Scotia welcomed more than 2,500 refugees from Kosovo. When they arrived, most of them only spoke Albanian, but now many of their children can't speak that language. A new school is hoping to change that. This is the first day of Albanian language school for these kids in Halifax, and there is a flood of emotions, from excitement to nerves.
That my friends, they should all be here. It's a great opportunity to learn about our culture and our heritage here in Canada.
Dr. Liri Loshi says the community has been working toward this for years, and they are thrilled the day is finally here. Over 40 students have already been signed up.
This is a supplementary school which is going to help our kids to learn and to maintain and pass on in generations their knowledge in their mother language, Albanian.
I think it's a very big achievement for Albanian community. This is great for our kids because it's a part of learning as well as not forgetting who they are, where they come from.
The Albanian language school is for ages 6 to 15 and free of charge. The school is located in St. Agnes Parish in Halifax. Dr. Loshi says the community is open to anyone who wants to bring their child to the school, regardless of their heritage.
People have different interests here, so my intention was to let them know that this school is open, so we are open for everyone who wants to learn Albanian language.
For the parents, children and the teachers, this first day of Albanian school was an introduction to a great learning path they're all about to join.
It actually feels great. As a parent, I'm very, very happy that this has started because we, of course, want our kids to save our language and the culture and everything here, just like in other places of Canada and everywhere around the world.
And the school is held every Saturday at 10:30 a.m.
It's definitely a happy occasion for the Albanian community. Now, some parents in Dartmouth are worried about their children's safety after a dangerous discovery on a nearby walking path.
Let's check in live with Vince Williams, who has more.
Graham, Kelly Doucette was shocked to find a used needle and drug-related items on a path her children use to walk to school.
I didn't want to get stuck with it, or the children to get stuck with it.
This is where Kelly Doucette found the used needle and spoon wrapped in plastic just over a week ago. It's a path her two children use to get to school every day. That's why she called the police.
Well, the policeman came and told me that I should have just kicked it in the bush, or I should have went to my house and got a cup and kind of pushed it in and dispersed of it myself.
Doucette was upset about that response, so she filed a formal complaint with Halifax Regional Police. Police say they haven't been able to get a hold of Doucette to respond to her concerns.
We want to ensure her that when she reaches out to us that we will have the call reviewed and see if there's any way that the officer could have responded in a more appropriate way if she deemed it was not appropriate.
Police say it's not uncommon to receive calls like Doucette's about drug-related items. Typically, they send someone else to remove them.
We'd certainly make contact with other community partners that deal specifically with those types of safety issues.
Parents in the area say it's not the first time something has been found. Joanna Delaney says she found a needle just 2 weeks ago.
Something needs to be done. I mean, it's unacceptable. What if it had been somebody's child that had found that? something needs to be done. They need to close this path off somehow. It's a danger. It's a danger to the small children.
And parents say they want more police presence in the area.
Now, police are still trying to reach Doucette about her complaint and that they are still looking at ways to make the area safer. Graham?
Thanks, Vince.
By now, many of us have seen the viral video of a young woman being repeatedly catcalled while walking in Manhattan.
It's been viewed over 34 million times since being published last week. WTV's Amanda Gallagher tells us more about the issue here in Halifax.
The video shows a woman being repeatedly catcalled or street harassed while walking in New York City. It was created for global advocacy group Halifax to draw attention to street harassment. Rebecca Faria founded Halifax's Halifax chapter after being harassed herself. Faria says she's heard many reports of local street harassment, especially in high-traffic areas like Spring Garden and near universities.
We hear about people who are harassed on their way home from work or school, certainly. A lot of verbal harassment. Mostly we hear about things being yelled out the windows of passing cars. That seems to be a very common experience in Halifax.
Colette Feehan says it's something she's experienced while riding her bike.
When it has happened, it generally has made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, and like my level of safety has been lowered a little bit.
Many women I spoke to said they've had similar experiences but didn't want to discuss them on camera. Faria says some women don't realize what's happening.
They don't necessarily think of it as street harassment. They think of it as a creepy or weird thing that happens. It does, however, influence our behavior. Many people will decide not to go out at a certain hour of the day.
Halifax says bystanders can reduce street harassment by speaking up when they see it happening. Victims are also encouraged to holla back by using a mobile app to share their experience and receive support. Halifax is currently working on a survey in partnership with Cornell University. The aim is to find out more about just how often street harassment happens. Amanda Gallagher, WTV News, Halifax.
The Nova Scotia government recently made a change to the Liquor Control Act that some people say has been a long time coming. Ian Barker has more.
To have the audacity to sue me and others like me is foolish, really is.
Ross Harrington is the owner of Wine Kits Halifax. In 2013, he was told that the Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation was planning to sue his and 2 other stores if they allowed people to continue making wine in the stores because it violated the liquor laws.
Luckily, the public was outraged. It was the media that kept it on the front burner, and it made it happen.
Harrington spent over $30,000 in legal fees fighting the injunction before the NDP pulled the plug on the lawsuit. The Liberal government promised to make the change to the Liquor Act when they were voted into power in late 2013. Now, that change has been made.
This time around, they consulted us. They sent out surveys and they asked our opinion, and we worked closely with Diana Whalen's office, the Finance Department, Policy, and Alcohol and Gaming, and it was seamless. It was really...
The amendment is supposed to make it easier for small Nova Scotian businesses to grow and prosper.
The amendment obviously just gives me peace of mind. You know, now I can go about my daily business. Don't have to worry about what if.
Harrington says that now his business is booming, and the only thing stopping the store from growing even more is a lack of space. Ian Barker, WTV News, Halifax.
We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, our first year's RTA students show us what's up in entertainment.
Welcome back. Many big businesses, such as Amazon.com, Target, and some Subway restaurants are now accepting a currency called Bitcoin. But how can Halifax benefit from the virtual money? WTV's Scott McRae has the story.
Because it's disruptive, because it's new, because it makes sense.
Bitcoin is a digital global currency. It simplifies transactions by allowing people to transfer funds over the internet, without a bank, and sometimes without a name. Halifax resident Fath Abdoun is a local Bitcoin enthusiast. He says our city should cash out and Bitcoin in.
I think Halifax is in a perfect situation to make it, to build businesses and improve and become the mecca of Bitcoin.
But Abdoun says the building blocks need to be put in place first.
I think we need businesses to accept it. The more businesses accept it, the more we'll have ATM machines. Currently, only one place has an ATM machine.
That place is Dirty Nelly's. They have a Bitcoin ATM even though the pub doesn't accept Bitcoin for payment for food or drinks.
We have had some folks coming in specifically to check out the Bitcoin machine. It's not high traffic, but there's certainly a market out there for it.
And that market is big, one that Abdoun says Halifax business owners should consider.
Once you start a business, a startup, and you accept Bitcoin, you're automatically exposed to a global market.
Abdoun says that in 2 to 3 years, Bitcoin will be a major means of payment for goods and services, much like the loonie is for most of us today. Scott McCrae, WTV News, Halifax.
And right now, one Bitcoin is worth close to $400.
Wow. So, what do you think about Bitcoin? Would you use them? Tweet at WTV Media or leave a comment on our website.
Now, let's check in with first-year student Jane Nicholson, who has your entertainment news. Jane?
Thanks, guys. Welcome to WTV Entertainment. I'm Jane Nicholson. Don't worry if you missed Pop Explosion, you can still get your music fix. The Nova Scotia Music Week Festival and Conference is happening November 6th to 9th in Truro. Blue Rodeo, The Stanfields, and Mike Boyd are just some of the performers you can see live. You can also get tips and information from industry experts. Passes start at $46 and are available at nsmw.ca. It's your last chance to see the comic drama Mending Fences at Neptune Theatre. The show wraps up on Sunday. It's the story of Harry Sullivan and his estranged son Drew. You can buy your tickets at neptunetheatre.com. The Kenny vs. Spenny On the Road live show will take place at the Rebecca Cohen Auditorium on Friday at 8 p.m. Comedians Kenny Hotz and Spencer Rice are looking forward to sharing their unique language skills with their audience. Tickets can still be purchased at Dalhousie Arts Center box office. Also this Saturday at Alderney Gate Library, you can learn all about Atlantic ghosts. The Evergreen Writing Group is launching a book about local ghost stories. It's called Out of the Mist and includes 22 spooky tales. The Bearing Arms, Bearing Wounds exhibition is opening this weekend. It's a collection of mixed media from artist Jessica Weeb and features her work from her tour in Afghanistan. The exhibition is on the 8th and it is located at St. Paul's Anglican Church. For more information, visit stpaulshalifax.org. Have a great weekend. Thanks, and back to you.
I'm really excited to share this next story with you. I was lucky to a reunion that was almost 100 years in the making. Take a look.
The guy wanted $2 for it, so I gave him $2.
40 years ago, Joanne McDonald bought what she thought was a paperweight at a thrift store. But after recently watching a TV show about World War I, she realized it was much more.
They were doing something about the First World War, and they were talking about medals, and the guy was presented with something like a medal that looked something like that, but it wasn't quite like that. But then I remembered mine, and I thought, maybe mine's a medal.
She was right. Her paperweight was actually a memorial plaque. They were given to the families of soldiers who died during World War I.
When I realized it was something of significance, then I felt like it should be explored further, and so then I Googled him and found out a little bit of information about him, that he died and was buried in Belgium.
The outer edge of the plaque reads, "He died for freedom and honor," with the name William Scarry written below. Joanne found that William Scarry was born in New Ross, Nova Scotia. He was 32 years old when he died and was never married. He fought with the Canadian infantry in World War I and is remembered in Harold Baldwin's book, Holding the Line. To the sorrow of every one of us, the gallant soul of Bill Scarry took its flight to his maker about 10 o'clock that morning. A small shell, ricocheting from a stunted willow tree, simply tore him to pieces. Joanne says she doesn't know why she held on to the medallion all these years. She often threw things out, but says maybe on some level she always knew it was special.
There were times in my life when it was pretty black and I'd shine it up with Brasso.
Joanne reached out to WTV to help her find William's family so she could finally bring the medallion home. After some research, we found them in New Ross, Nova Scotia. They were happy to hear from us and excited to meet Joanne. William Scarry's name is listed on several cenotaphs in Nova Scotia's South Shore. Scarry's family anxiously waited at the community center in New Ross to meet Joanne and see the plaque. WTV was there to catch the homecoming. Edison Scarry is William's third cousin. He brought his wife Anna.
Oh my Lord Almighty.
That's your medal.
The lion.
Look to it.
That is beautiful.
Freedom.
Beautiful.
The medal will be 100 years old this April. Anna Scarry says she was surprised and delighted to receive it.
Well, I believe that things have a destination, and once, somehow or another, they're kept until they reach that destination. And I believe that medal was meant to come home.
Scarrys of all ages came out. They chatted over tea and pizza and couldn't thank Joanne enough for bringing a missing piece of their family history home.
I don't think I could give her enough hugs.
William's third cousin Edison, usually a man of few words, was touched.
Like she said, she moved from place to place to place and always kept us. For giving stuff away, all kinds of stuff. And she always kept us. For some reason, she kept it. And thank God she did. That's all I can say.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it is. It was really great being there, too. I think it's going to make for a pretty special Remembrance Day for the Scarry family.
That's all for this week's edition of WTV.
Don't forget to check out our website. You can always hit us up on social media.
Till next week, thank you for watching.